Hello, and welcome to Disney Do-Overs!
You beat me this time.
Ha!
I'm Jill.
And I'm Annabeth.
And today we have a special guest.
Our very first guest star. Please welcome Rachel Masuda.
Woo! I'm here. I'm Rachel.
This is our Mulan expert, and by expert, I mean she's just watched it an inhuman amount of times.
She could probably quote the whole thing.
This episode is just Rachel reciting Mulan.
I unfortunately do not come with cool facts like I know Jill has in her back pocket. All I come with is my love and passion for Mulan because it is my favorite Disney movie, and I will argue that it is also the best Disney movie, hands down.
As it's been made clear, we are talking about Mulan. This podcast is a little out of order from the other ones, hopefully, because Mulan just came out on Disney Plus, and we just watched it like 10 minutes ago, so this is a fresh review.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit different than our usual ones, because usually we watched The Thing months ago, years ago. We come back and we watch it, and our opinion has changed, but this is just like fresh off Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. We just watched this.
Yeah, so we all did watch the 1998 Mulan, and we have notes on that. We did just watch the other ones. We don't actually have notes, we just have a fresh opinion, so hopefully we can have some memory of what just happened.
I absolutely have some opinions.
Yep, we all
I think we all do.
Opinions with a capital O.
But as Rachel mentioned, I usually come with fun facts. Mulan, the 1998 version, was made over the course of 5 years and had 700 animators, artists, and technicians working on it. Of course, this one and the new one are both based on the Chinese legend of the warrior Hua Mulan in the poem Ballad of Mulan about 1,500 years ago.
Jill, have you read the source text?
Oh god, no.
Me neither.
Which I am a little, sad I don't know the source material because I wonder how much the new one pulls from it, if at all, because I don't know.
Like, I want to. Like, if it was in, Art of War kind of style book, just a book, I would totally read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I had looked up more about the original legend, because I don't know anything!
Yeah. And just a few more fun facts. The 1998 Mulan movie grossed about $300 million worldwide, $120 million in the US and Canada, and 22.8 in the opening weekend.
I'll be interested to see how this
compares
because it is on Disney Plus instead of in theaters.
Yeah. And the original was also the second highest grossing family film and the 7th highest grossing overall of that year.
What was the first highest family film?
A Bug's Life.
Really?
Interesting. Huh. I mean, I like A Bug's Life.
A Bug's Life is okay, but I feel like it's known as the worst Pixar movie, which I disagree. I liked it. The worst. But
I think it is one of the early computer animated movies, so maybe that was a draw.
I guess so. Anyway, Mulan.
Don't have any fun facts from the 2020 one because it just came out.
Yeah.
So let's just
There's lots of special features that we could have watched.
Oh, is there?
There's a thing on Disney Plus about the making of or something. We didn't watch it. No. We just straight watched Mulan just now and we're excited, so we're going for it.
Jumping into the animated movie, I like Mulan. Apparently, I have not watched it 1,000 times because I was surprised by a few things. Because, I don't remember the opening with, all of the paint and ink. It's that's cool.
So I love
pretty.
the calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even, that was my very first note, is heart fade in from opening credits.
Yeah, right? Heart, I love you.
I mean, that's
immediately
all of my notes, but okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
My second note was Gondor calls for aid.
Did I? I did! I said, the beacons are like Gondor calls for aid!
That's perfect.
If we can tie in a Lord of the Rings reference, we definitely will.
We just hit your two favorite things there. They totally stole that from Mulan.
Definitely.
Oh, actually, if you want to get technical, the book. Well, I know.
Well,
because
actually, about 1,500 years ago.
Should I tell you how long it took me to realize that little brother was the actual name of the puppy rather than her just calling for a little brother who never shown? It took me a lot longer.
Rachel's just sitting there waiting for a post-credit scene where Mulan's little brother walks through the frame.
I will take this time to dote on Khan's design. I really like it. Khan's the horse.
Yes.
It looks like, the paintings of Chinese horses. I think all the animation is drawn from, Chinese art, but it's really visible in Khan, I think.
I would like to nominate him for Best Disney Horse. I really like his design as well. He's a good boy.
Oh, you're just gonna nominate him because I think what's his face from Tangled.
Oh yeah,
Maximus.
Maximus, yeah.
Because that's what I thought. Like, oh, is Khan the only horse that you actually hear the name of? And then I remember Maximus.
Oh no, there are more. Like Achilles from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Philippe is named.
Yeah.
Captain is it Major?
Which one
named?
is Captain?
Major is Cinderella's horse. Captain is the horse in 101 Dalmatians.
Oh.
I get them confused a lot.
Right.
And Angus
Oh yeah, Angus.
is Merida's horse.
I still think Khan is the prettiest horse.
Good solid horse.
I also really like how Mushu keeps calling him a cow.
Yeah, heifer.
I also really like the Huns horses because they look like Przewalski's horses.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about you whenever I realized like just the art difference between Khan with his like very slim legs and the Huns horses that are very.
I loved it.
Yeah,
because Khan looks like a Chinese painting, and the horses of the Huns look like the horses, the wild horses of Mongolia that you don't actually ride, but they are iconic with that part of the world. And they're also wild, like these Huns are wild fighters.
Oh, okay. I have a note about the animated one.
Yes.
Controversial opinion right here. Y'all ready?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. So, like, Mushu and the genie from Aladdin have similar energy, you know?
Yes.
Like, a similar vibe. I'm gonna make a really bold statement here. Mushu is better.
I think you're alone on that hill.
Oh, no, I'm on that hill. I'm on
The
that
hill
hill.
that we died on.
I will defend this hill with
I
you.
don't
Thank
dislike
you.
Mushu. Mushu's great, but I think compared to the genie, he's more out of place. But not in like, it doesn't detract from the movie at all. He's fine. I just don't think he's as Robin Williams as Robin Williams.
Well, no, he's not as Robin Williams. In fact, he's kind of more
maybe-
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm also comparing him to Donkey from Shrek, and I think he's better as Donkey.
Oh.
But Mushu's great. There's nothing wrong with Mushu. Because I forgot I was gonna say, not about Eddie Murphy's performance, just about how I really appreciate that Mushu as a side character does a really good job of representing the same theme as the main character that a lot of other sidekicks don't.
Yeah.
Like he is also trying to he's kind of a screw up who wants to
Regain his place.
regain his place. He can show that he can bring honor to himself or to whatever. He just has the same kind of idea that Mulan does in the movie.
Parallelism.
Yeah.
That a lot of other psychics don't quite.
Yes.
I keep wanting to say foil, but that's not what it is, because that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but that's a really good point. I do like the thematic parallels between Mulan and Mushu. And yeah, a lot of sidekicks don't really have that. They're just kind of there for comedic relief.
Like in, for example, Cinderella, all the mice don't have any of the same theme that she does, even though they're very memorable and cool and sing good.
Also, in our last podcast, I just remember talking about how Aladdin is such a sparkly fireworks movie, and I just want to point out how much I also enjoyed the sparkly fireworks in Mulan.
Because Annabeth is a monkey that likes
I
shiny.
like shiny things.
It is very pretty. That's what I kept thinking. It's like, oh, pretty. Oh, pretty.
Yeah,
Like
so
they
good.
only made this so they could do beautiful scenes of. Oh wait, are we talking about the animated or the live action?
I'm talking about the animated one, and the fireworks towards the end. They're so pretty.
Okay.
And just
I was about to argue
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Were you saying the animated one was pretty or the new one was pretty? Because I don't think the animated one is ugly at all.
No,
it looks great.
no. I think it's grand, but it's not pretty. That I was
Yeah.
talking about the live
I
action.
like
and-
the fireworks.
But the animation overall it's good. It's solid. It's a little bit, to me, like a really, really good TV cartoon.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I would see that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it.
Like, it's
It
not
is-
bad. It's just not overwhelmingly, wow.
Right. Okay, like what's an animated movie that you would put on like the wow tier?
Lion King.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, that's probably a bad example.
Lion King is the best movie.
low
What?
hanging fruit.
Princess of the Frog, really pretty. Mostly because I haven't watched it in a long time, but one scene was super gorgeous. There's a lot of animation that just kind of blows you away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this one, except for a few scenes, like anytime, like the big Huns on the Snowy Mountain, superb. When they're actually at the palace, that was also really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mulan's strengths really come in its like story more
I
so
agree.
than its animation.
Yeah, I think the animation is good, but yeah, the story is even better.
And the songs are
And
like
the
probably
songs!
the best Disney songs.
Okay, so
Whoa.
Maybe.
Ooh. There's no bad song in Mulan.
That's true.
Agreed.
Point blank.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Most musical films have a song you skip when you listen to the soundtrack. You don't skip anything from Mulan.
No. See, that's why I usually don't like musicals, because it's usually opposite for me. Like, I don't like most of the songs except for maybe one. But, girl, Mulan.
The songs, one, just sound amazing. Also, I like wrote down a few of the lyrics that I really like because I was like, oh yeah, that's just really good. That shows Mulan in a really good way, or this in a really good way.
Such as?
Not uproot my family tree, keep my father standing tall.
I like that.
I just liked that.
I love Scarier Than the Undertaker. We are meeting our matchmaker. Because it's so good. It's like, I love when you can just have a really compact lyric that says like 3 different things or something. You know, it's like meeting our match, meeting our maker, we're meeting our matchmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
So good. I think I had the same, Jill, you and I are the same one. These lyrics underline, keep my father standing tall, shivers, all in capital O. Can I talk about how much I love Shan Yu as a villain? One, he has that villain theme that plays every time he's on the scene, and it's dum, dum, dum. Like, it's just so... But he's very ruthless, and he's dark, and it's like, how many messengers or how many people does it take to send a message to
It
the
was a
Emperor?
good moment.
It is such a good...
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
legitimately like a scary villain.
a scary villain who like appears on the scene over and over, even though it's not on scene with the hero. Like he's on scene and he's doing his own thing, and you realize how much of a threat he is. Like,
Yeah, they are big and scary because they have like that line about you only need one messenger, so that's that ominous thing, and they have the little girl's doll. So it's just another example of like the little scared.
Yeah, I think Shan Yu is one of the scariest villains.
The
like
design helps.
The design, yeah, I love the differences in the design between the Huns and the Chinese army. He's very ominous. He's very scary. He has those yellow glowing eyes.
They match his bird.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, he's just like a very ominous presence, and ooh, spooky.
and the dark versus the light, what you were saying compared to the Imperial armies, like they have the white Imperial stallions, and they have the dark,
And all, like the
black,
white tents and everything's like lighter, or like, you know,
sleeker. It's the hero.
the colors are different, and then the Hun army is like a lot of grays and browns and dark and like ooh.
I like it. Speaking of the white stallions, Mulan has a black stallion because yin and yang. Black is feminine, white's masculine.
Ooh.
That's kind of cool. So
That's-
like the whole
yeah.
male army, white horses.
Yeah.
She's on the lone black horse. That's
Oh my
kinda cool.
gosh, I never knew that. That's so cool.
I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but that's the thing.
That's not coincidence. They knew what they were doing. That's so good. I really noticed, I started to say I really liked, but in the animated one, the part right after, you know, the girl worth fighting for song, and then it abruptly stops and you see like everyone's dead. Like, what Disney movie shows a bunch of dead bodies?
That moment's probably my favorite, just from the abrupt stop of like this fun song
Yeah.
to
Death.
tragedy.
Yeah.
I have several notes. One, so that's the last like musical number of the movie in order to like make more drama and do more contrast between happy fun and dark and like that threat. But also that doll represents a true girl worth fighting for.
Aw.
Somewhere out there, a little girl is missing her doll. And I love that tie
Yeah.
in between like they're talking about like women that they want to like get with, and then no, here's a true girl worth.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah.
The doll motif throughout, it's really good. Like, doesn't at the beginning of the movie, Mulan is just like, she gets a little girl her doll back when the boys are picking on her, and then the doll, and then you're like, oh, and then when Shan Yu has the doll, it's like creepy and scary, and I'm like, oh.
I really like that the doll represents the people that she would care for. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really noticed that she like left the doll on like the general's grave. And
Yeah.
it stood up to me that time.
Yeah, the doll is a really good motif, and I just appreciate that Disney went all in, like, we're gonna get dark now, here's a field of dead bodies, but this is still a real fun film.
It's definitely a comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a strong comedy movie.
Yeah, but
Despite
it's also,
having
like,
all
action.
These, like, epic moves.
So this is bringing on like my overarching love of Mulan. So one, all those comedic themes, you're like super high, which makes the lows even lower. So like you're on this emotional roller coaster the whole time, and they balance it like throughout the film. They weave it in so well, and that's I guess that's like the main reason why I love Mulan so much is because I'm on this roller coaster and I don't want to get off this way. I don't want to skip. Like I want to feel those highs and I want to feel those lows, and I need both to get those extreme emotions, those endorphins going through my brain.
Yeah, I feel like the pacing and the balance of the movie is just really perfect, honestly. There's not like a moment where you're like, okay, I'm bored. It's like there's always either a song or an emotional moment, or it's like suspenseful, or it's action, or it's funny. It's everything. It's a wonderful movie.
I like that she is such an easy not role model, but like you can really, as a young kid, really connect with her, because not everyone is the same. Some girls are girly and they like girly princess, that's cool, and the ones that are more tomboyish, maybe they didn't want them, and now they suddenly have Mulan to be that, and she's such an easy one to connect to. I don't know, and just what she wants is so interesting, because she wants to bring honor, and she can't, like, she's trying to do it the normal way, but she's just not good at that. But she's very creative. She's got a lot of ingenuity. That is her specialty. Because she's not, like, great at everything. She has to learn along with everybody else. Like, all the guys, they have the best training montage ever.
Yes.
But they're all messing up, including her. But it's her ingenuity that makes her shine.
Yeah, I like that. Ingenuity, that's a good word for it, because I was just like, she's smart, but not in the really obvious, like, she's smart way.
Yeah.
But ingenuity is the perfect word, because she's not like the smart girl. Oh, look at her with her nose in a book. She's not Belle, but you can tell she's really intelligent and thinks of things that other people wouldn't necessarily think of. Mulan as a character and as a female role model and a princess for little girls to look up to. She's real good.
If you did or didn't feel like the love story Mulan was forced or not, doesn't really matter. She got what she was after in the beginning of the movie in the end, doing her own method.
Yeah.
Because she was set out to go to the matchmaker to get a match. She messed up. It's like, she's not good at that kind of it. But through whatever she did that she was good at, she wound up with her match.
That's what I was gonna like touch on is like when you're talking about her ingenuity, she does it her own way. Like she doesn't need to fit a certain mold, like that mold of like the traditional daughter. She finds her own way of doing it, and that's what I wanted.
I also really like the dad.
Oh, the dad is so great.
I just like the way he was portrayed of like in the beginning. You don't dislike him, but he is like honor above all. He's gonna do what he has to. He wants his daughter to like be traditionally honorable, but not in a like despicable kind of way. It's just what you expect. And in the end, she brings the sword and the medal, and he just wants her. And I was just like, it's so good.
It's so good. The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter.
And those lines, the way that they're like spoken, like they hit me every time.
I know. It's so. Oh. I'm really curious what your note says, but I'll wait.
Which one?
I just see. I don't know about the
Dance party at the end.
dance party at the end.
Yeah, the biggest negative for animated Mulan for me is the ending. Not like the ending to the story of just like, okay, now there's a dance party.
Now
That's
it's
the way it ends.
98
No.
degrees
See,
and
we
Stevie
we
Wonder.
closed the circle with the chickens. Remember?
Yep. The chickens.
But there's a dance party.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't end on this dramatic flourish or like a touching story moment. No, it's like a party with a 90s pop song.
Yep. It sure is. No, okay. It ends with it ends with Mulan and her father.
No,
and
it ends with
then-
the ancestors.
And then, yeah, but you get your wrap-up of the real story, and then you get your wrap-up of Mushu's story with the ancestors partying to 98 Degrees and Stevie Wonder.
And
I think that's a great way to end anything.
You can tell it's a
Is that how you're
90s
gonna end your
movie.
wedding?
Mulan, like you were talking about, she wants to bring honor to her family. She wants to protect her family. She wants to keep her father from having to fight in the war. She does it her own way. You know, you mentioned how she screws up with the matchmaker. So yeah, she's not like amazing at traditionally feminine things, but her journey isn't about her like feeling restricted in the place of a woman and wanting to go do man things. And it's not about, like, girl power. It's about, like, she has a noble goal and she cares about other people, and that leads her to do what she needs to do, whether that is masculine or feminine. It's not about fitting a male role or fitting a female role. It's about doing what needs to be done and being true to who you are, instead of being like, look what I can do. I'm a girl, but I can do these man things. I feel like the animated Mulan is like a true feminist film because it's not performative of feminism. It's like the actual heart of what it should be.
Goes above.
To quote the take, there are multiple ways to earn honor, and society is wrong to recognize only one way.
Oh, I like that. Snaps.
So that's exactly what the movie is telling you, showing you. They're saying the only way a woman can bring honor is to have a good match, bear good sons, but honestly, that's not the only way. You can also be a tactical genius, you could be a man in the army, just whatever it is that you find your role is. It's not just whatever it has to be.
Yeah, and the movie never positions Mulan as having to really choose a side over, like, masculine or feminine. Like, she's offered a place on the Emperor's Council, which would be traditionally, like, a male role, and she's like, no, I want to turn that down because I really want to go back and see my family. And so, like, she still, like, chooses to go with her family. She's not all about, like, oh, let me go do this thing to show that girls can do this.
Along,
yeah.
Was honor for her family or safety for her family.
Exactly.
It wasn't an ambitious ploy to be in the palace.
Yeah. And I like when she hugs the Emperor.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, traditionally, like, who's more affectionate? Who's gonna give a hug? A girl. The girl is, like, hugging. But he's, like, the Emperor. And she just does this. I mean, not that males can't hug, but, like...
But that's just an example of her quote-unquote screw-upness of, like, she would do the wrong thing and hug the Emperor because that's what you're supposed to do, but that's what Mulan would do.
Yeah, exactly. It's her way of...
It's her character stayed true throughout the film.
Yeah.
Stayed consistent.
The movie is not preachy or in your face about, like, girls can do anything, girl power.
Not shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, it's not shoving it down your throat, so it seems way more genuine and way more
natural.
It's being the role model in the way that this is just how it actually is.
Yeah! It's showing and not telling what people should aspire to.
Though a little bit more in the more traditional feminism, I do like the line about the matchmaker saying, you're too skinny, you can't bear sons. I like that was a little subversive, like you might normally say, like, oh, you're too fat, you're not pretty enough. No, she goes with, you're too skinny, you can't bear sons.
Yeah.
I liked that. It wasn't important at all, but if you're gonna have something in a kid's movie, that sounds good.
Yeah. And there were, like, little things that were, like, really obvious, like, oh, you're a girl, or you're this, but it wasn't, like, overbearing. It was just, like, it gives kids the ideas without saying, like, here's what to think.
Yeah.
It shows you.
It shows you don't have to be like a man to be cool.
Yeah.
You can just be whoever you are, whatever that is.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a movie that knows that children are intelligent, so it doesn't feel like it has to just, like, shove you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm taking your role by saying how much I like the reprise, but the reprise of Be a Man, I forgot how much good it is. How much good it is.
Comedy in there.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's just also epic at the same time of, like, that turn of Be a Man. It's them in women's clothes.
Yeah.
Concubines.
Ugly concubines. I have a question. I can't remember the short one's name. He pulls out a banana.
Right?
Like, one of them pulls out 2 apples, one pulls out 2 watermelons, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And then the other one pulls out an orange and a banana.
I know. I was thinking, how is that a boob?
I was like, maybe they're trying to show that, like, boobs are different shapes.
Or is
Or they don't know what boobs look like.
Or he was patting somewhere else.
Lao is the short one. Ling
Okay.
is the skinny one.
I thought it was Yao.
Yao, yeah, Yao.
Oh.
Did I say Lao?
Yeah.
You're right. Yao.
Ling, Yao, and
Chenpo.
Chenpo. Chenpo's great. Like, he just, like, lifted everybody off the
Yes.
I do have one thing about animated, all the reflections. I know it's the song, but, like, in rewatching this kind of with a more critical eye, you see her reflection when she's, like, being painted up as a bride, like, in the mirror. And then, obviously, the song in the puddle whenever she's sitting there in the helmet, like after she's exposed. And then
And the sword.
Obviously in the sword during the most epic scene ever.
I don't think I quite caught the helmet one. I like
Yeah.
that now
Yeah,
that you pointed out.
Because she keeps like trying to like find her true self,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's finally able to do it in her own way, tying it back to what you
Yeah.
said.
I like that.
Such a good
I
movie. So
It's so
good.
easy to dote on this movie.
Should we talk about the new one, or do we have to?
Is there anything else that everyone wants to just gush about Mulan?
Let
I'm
me-
sure there probably is.
Pages. Actually, 2 more. So what I was talking about before with like the different theme music that goes along, there's also the Imperial one, the trumpets. When the Emperor says a single grain of rice can do foreshadowing, which I like, and also like the transition from that to the actual character in Mulan when she begins it, and
Yeah.
to okay, I just want to gush a little bit more about the initial view of Shan Yu's army. With, again, the villainous theme coming out and the echo. It's the echo of
Which is this the one over the hill? or-
over the hill, and they're seeing them on the mountain bridge, and it's the echo that's like there's so many, and that you feel it like you're there, and there's like an over. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I like that you pointed out like the musical aspect of that because I'm always like the visual of like them like encroaching over the hill and just engrossing all of it.
It's like a wave of humanity
Yeah.
coming over the hill. But yeah, the music. Oh, or we didn't even gush about the scene where she cuts her hair. The music during that is just the most incredible music in the whole earth.
I want to watch it every time, like, I need to get psyched for something. I need to watch it, like, in order to wake up in the morning. Like, I just want to just continue to watch it. And going into the 2020, it sucked.
Oh,
That
okay.
was-
We're
If we're talking about
abruptly
that,
going
if we're
into
talking
it.
about that scene, yes,
Yeah,
that
I was-
scene was such a
oh.
disappointment in comparison.
Yeah, I wanted
Because
that music.
You had
for
that
one
music,
thing.
those defining shots of this is the story. This is her picking up the scroll, leaving the comb, putting on the
Yeah.
armor.
Cutting off her hair.
Yeah,
like,
she
this-
didn't even cut her hair.
This whole big like decision she has made is like brought up so much in the animated one, and then it's just
It's very glossed over in
It
the
is.
new live action version. It's like you see her, and then you see her with the armor on. Do you even see her put the comb down and pick up the
No, you
scroll?
don't.
You don't. That's such a good, like, when she literally trades the comb for the scroll.
You're like,
It's like she is making such a huge choice, and it doesn't even give us that
like,
shot.
if they were
in
gonna
the
make that
live
decision
action
of
one.
just using a shot of her turning in the armor as your big reveal. One, I don't really like that as a decision, but if you're gonna go with that decision, you can at least put more power behind it. Like, we all know it's her. I feel like anyone, even if you were just watching this movie without having watched the other one, you know it's her. There's no, like, suspense of, like, is that her father? No, it's Mulan.
okay, my overarching thought about the 2020 Mulan. I am entirely convinced that they will only hire people to work on the film if they haven't seen the animated version within the past 15 years. So they're just going off of, I think this is what it is. I think. Do you remember that? I think she like put on the armor and did she cut her? I don't remember. Like I'm entirely convinced.
I love this
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah, they wanted to be serious, so they wanted to go with a different, but they just lost the soul of
I appreciate
everything.
they made their own decisions in this movie. They weren't just trying to carbon copy, except for the few instances of this is painful. Why'd you put this line in here?
They're like Mulan as a character. They did it their own way.
They did. I mean, I really like the idea that they would take Mulan and try and tell the same story in a completely different way. Like, I appreciate that coming from like Aladdin and whatever was before Beauty and the Beast. Like, where they were trying to like literally carbon copy and it just didn't come out right.
I do like the traditional twists. Like, I shouldn't say twists, the traditional throwbacks in the 2020, like how they were trying to, I want to say, from my very not knowledgeable standpoint, is like they were trying to be traditionally accurate with like costumes and makeup and like
I hope they were.
scenes.
Yeah, I have
I
no
don't
idea
know,
if they got it right, but
yeah.
it felt like they were trying.
Yeah.
So if they were accurate, I appreciate it. I don't know if they were.
Yeah, China's history is just so long.
Like, I wasn't expecting their village and how it looked. I'm really hoping that's accurate because that's very different.
I don't know if it's accurate, but I feel like it might be. Here's a tangent. Do you remember when we were at Opry Mills Mall and we went to the VR thing?
That was okay. What I'm imagining you're remembering is not China. It's
Okay.
Mongolia, and it was a tent.
Okay. No, it was a big round building.
It was a tent.
Was it?
Mongolians live in. Crap, what are they called? Yurts? I'm not sure. If they're called
Yurts.
They might be called yurts, but regardless, they're these big tents that are like they're mobile, like you can collapse them somewhere else. But they are traditionally like big round rooms.
Okay. From what I don't know about China, just the feel of the movie, because it wasn't copying how it looked in the animation, I'm assuming they made it more accurate.
I hope so.
But I wouldn't know.
Yes, we hope. But
We
we
can
have nothing
hope.
to back it. We did say, like, after we watched the trailer, Amy said, like, oh, the makeup is correct.
That's good.
We did ask her about that. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, that's...
I just didn't know about like the architecture.
I mean, everything
But
else.
China has a long history, like you said.
Yeah.
That's probably a lot in it, a lot of different architecture.
That's what I also hope, like, why they changed the villain. Like, from the Huns to the... Couldn't quite catch it.
I don't know what they were called, but they got...
That sounds right.
I was very surprised they weren't the Huns. I'm assuming it come from some historical background.
This episode is called We Know Nothing About China.
And we miss Amy.
Oh, we do
love you,
miss
Amy.
Amy. So, while we're talking about the villains, should we talk about the villains?
Sure. I mean, we'll start with something nice. I really, really liked the opening shot of the horses riding in. I thought that was beautiful. And like in the desert of like, it looks like one horse galloping and then they just kind of like
Oh,
feather
now.
out into
Yeah.
multiple and it's a
It was
lot.
in the single file.
Yeah.
And how it shot and how, I don't know, it just looked beautiful.
I thought you were talking about the scene with the hawk lady, and I was like, this is so cheesy.
No, not that. The horses.
With like
of course, the horse.
the mirage feeling.
Oh,
It was like a
yeah.
tad bit too long. Like the whole setup is too stretched out for me.
Can we
in
go ahead
general.
and bring out the big plot hole that since it's the beginning of the movie of how she was right in front of the emperor?
Yeah.
That was weird. Couldn't they have started this whole plan a lot earlier? Like,
Right?
I know it's not the
She
exact
was
same, but
right
she
there.
was right there. I feel like they could have done the same thing earlier in the movie.
Yeah, like the very beginning.
Yeah. Like instead of being the soldier, like she is the soldier, and then she takes over the advisor
Chancellor.
and says, "Oh, by the way, your Hun buddy wants to fight you." It just
Your Hun buddy.
Sorry, no. I can't remember what are they called. This whole movie, I'm going to be referring as everyone as like by their animated counterpart.
Yeah.
Because I don't
remember
know
his
what
name.
I don't know what Not Shang's name is.
Yeah, not Shang.
I'm going to call him Not Shang.
I almost asked you guys to put on the captions, the subtitles.
Oh, so we could see what their names were. That would have been good.
Also,
Yeah.
Names are hard to catch sometimes.
Names are hard when they're not in the language you speak because you're
I mean,
like, what
they can
does...
also be hard in the same language you
Well,
speak.
that's true. But
Unless
I
they
was
repeat it a lot.
just like, I don't... Even if I think I know what this name is, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
It's
So-
easier to read than
Yeah.
it is to just hear.
It definitely is. Maybe we should have watched with the subtitles on. I thought the movie was kind of long. Like
like I said, stretched out. Like
it was stretched
needlessly.
out. There was a point when I stopped reminding myself to give it a chance, and I just went with it. I think it was the part where Mulan, when she and the bird lady were at that weird yellow place. At that point, I think I got more into it, but everything up until then was kind of more similar to the animated movie in a really stretched out way. And I was like, okay, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. This is taking a really long time. You could have done this with one simple musical number and it was so much more economical.
Yeah.
You know, like, just the whole thing felt like, oh, well, this is that thing from the animated one, but if you just made it longer for no reason.
I didn't like the dad as much in this one.
Right.
Because he's a little bit more confusing. Like, he's supportive of Mulan, and he's not supportive of Mulan, but he's not like that same, like, stoic father that you can understand Mulan wanting to please. He's just this guy.
Yeah, I still liked the dad okay in this one, but the one in the animated one is better. Confusing's a good word for it. I mean, like, I feel like I understood what they were going for, Because he wanted to support Mulan.
Yeah,
But, like, society said he needed to tell her to know her place for her own good and for the good of the family.
it just didn't seem to make as much sense. For
No,
some
I think
reason.
he was a much, like, stronger character in the animated one. Like, he felt more consistent in the animated one.
Him as a narrator is fine at the beginning and the end, but that random sentence in the middle threw me off.
Right? They were like, we need a transition here. Dad, you want to say something?
Yeah.
I missed the
Mulan.
grandma.
I miss the grandma
I
so
replaced her with a
much.
sister.
The sister was cool.
She was fine.
But-
I liked her. I liked her line at the end, like, "Yeah, I have a mesh. He's not afraid of spiders."
Yeah.
Is it good, or are we just like picking at whatever we can because it was
I
like that
I
much of a
thought
disappointment?
having a sister was useless, but I liked her as I didn't like her being there, but I liked her.
Yeah, I agree. It's like we didn't need that character, but she's nice.
She's cute.
And she's cute. I liked I like that they did use the spider thing. Like, she's like, oh, I'm scared of spiders. And then when they're at the matchmaker, it's a spider. Although the matchmaker scene was nowhere near as good as the animated
I
one.
couldn't get over how fake that spider looked.
It also seemed
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's less
True.
Mulan's fault for messing up
Right?
that scene.
Yeah, she didn't like, she was just trying to keep her sister from freaking out over the spider.
I guess the big no-no was that she used her chi, which is a no-no for girls. Are you going to talk about the chi at any point? Because I have feelings on it.
I can't tell whether or not I like it or not yet. It hasn't digested enough.
Mhm.
I can't tell whether or not they were going for that kung fu movie.
At times they definitely
I feel like they
were.
went real hard for the kung fu movie
okay, 'cause-
sometimes.
And I'm like, okay, back to your point is like once you separated kind of like the Disney animated version, I actually had that same feeling. It's like I just need to pretend this isn't a Disney movie, and it made it better. It made it
Yeah.
better.
Well, the whole beginning of the movie, I was telling myself, okay, just watch this as if it's not a remake, it's not an adaptation, just take it as its own story. But you know what? It's completely fair for me not to do that because Disney doesn't want me to take this as its own story. It wants to capitalize on the fact that I have seen the animated one. It doesn't even want me to give it a chance as its own movie.
I did the same thing where like I'm approaching this movie as not the same Disney movie. I want to see what it can do on its own. And then it beat me over the head with a few like lines of like when all the guys are together and they're just doing the lines from Girl Worth Fighting For.
Yeah.
There's a few other instances of them like you accept for a while that it's doing its own thing and then it's like just wham, here's a line from the Disney movie. You remember that, right?
Doesn't matter what she looks like, it only matters what she cooks like.
Oh.
When they rhymed, but they weren't gonna sing it, I was like, stop!
And at first I didn't, like I thought it was just as jarring that they started playing Reflection when she's carrying the water up. I thought it was jarring and then I was like, well, I mean, that is appropriate here. That is her like reflecting on herself and being who she is, which is what that song is about. So it makes sense. It's just a little
Stretch.
weird feeling.
Now, I was 100% in favor of any of the musical cues that nodded back to the animated one. I was like, okay, more. Please, more music.
But for anyone who hasn't seen this movie yet, because it is new.
Well,
though
don't
I'm sure-
listen to this if you haven't seen the movie. What are you doing?
Spoiler alert.
For anyone who hasn't seen this movie, because it is new, it's only been out for probably a week by the time it was edited, I don't know. But one of the bigger changes they make in the movie is that Mulan, she's magic girl.
Yeah, can you explain Chi as a former martial artist?
Can I explain she as a non-Asian? Probably not very well.
I thought it was a martial arts thing.
It is, but it's much more ingrained in Asian culture.
Okay.
And I don't really get it.
I googled it.
Okay.
The Chinese word for qi can be defined as life force or energy and has parallels in other cultures. Developing your qi can be a way to heal your body both physically and mentally, as well as a path to reaching your full potential.
Like, yes, it's utilized in some martial arts, not the one I did.
Okay, I apologize to Asians everywhere. I was mistaken and thought it was a martial arts thing.
But anyway, Mulan, the movie definitely sometimes leans into kung fu flick from like the 80s. Not all the time, but sometimes it leans into it really hard.
Jet Li was in this movie.
He was the emperor. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But instead of Mulan in the animated one being like kind of either a mess up or just not really fitting in with the role she's been presented, and like that's her character. In the 2020 movie, she is a woman who has powerful chi life force, which can be used to be really good at fighting or magic. And she's a girl and she can't, like, they're not allowed. That's weird, though men can do it just fine. So she has to suppress that and, like, hide her true self, which unto itself is not bad. Like, that is just a change, like an adaptation change that they went with, which is the same point of having a good message of being true to yourself. But I think it's less relatable than the animated one. Like, there's something to connect to with that Mulan, whereas the 2020 one is cooler than you will ever be, so you don't feel like you're the same as her.
Yeah, you don't really connect with that, like, oh, I'm just trying to be a good daughter, I'm trying to make my family proud. It's like, no, I have to hide my magic.
Maybe some people can connect with that, of like they've been hiding their true self forever, and now they have the chance to like realize that showing it's good. It's not something I really connect with very well, but maybe some people do.
Maybe.
Not Shang was a little bit too perfect, I guess.
Not Shang was hot. And...
Oh, he was perfect. He was great.
He was perfect.
He's kind of like, the man everybody wants, whereas animated Shang was his own character. He
Fair.
had his own flaws. And like actually had to learn to trust Mulan again, whereas this one was just like, Mulan, yes. Oh, you're a woman, even better.
Yeah, right? I got some big bisexual energy from him.
Yes.
Like, with Shang, there's, like, the joke about, like, oh, is he gay for Ping? Like, all the fans make that joke. It's like, oh, and then, oh, she's a girl, great, that's what I want. But, like, this one actually, like, Shang in the animated movie is just like, no, I don't get that bisexual energy. This guy, he was into Mulan when she wasn't Mulan.
Oh, yeah, he was...
I like to think that he, like, caught on.
Yeah.
Because, like,
well, he saw her naked. I would hope he can recognize a woman.
Before that.
Or, like, when he
woke up and saw her that, like, that she was getting ready before everyone else.
Yeah,
Like,
and
maybe
she
he knew.
had the shirt on by that time,
Yes.
but just the way it cuts, you're like, oh, did he see her put it on? Or did so it does definitely hint at, like, he caught on before everyone else did. Yeah, he was Mr. Perfect, I tell you.
Which I think is maybe not a detriment, but I don't know. Shang in the animated one, he like is a dynamic character, whereas this one is a static character. Perfect static character.
Yeah.
Static. So I guess that's fine. They just kind of took all of Shang's not trusting Mulan after she's revealed and gave it to the commander.
I liked the commander.
Yeah, he was cool.
I liked him a lot. He was maybe one of my favorite characters. He had more personality than a lot of the characters. I think that's what it was.
I think Cricket had a lot of personality.
Cricket?
I thought it was hilarious that they put Cricket in the movie. They just made Cricket a person named Cricket. I thought that was kind of weird. Weirdly, my favorite character was Bird Lady.
I went into this movie having seen the trailer, and I was like, this is so stupid that they invented this random magic bird lady and put her in this movie.
They didn't invent her. She's just Sean Yu's
She's yeah, I know. And also, I don't know if she's, like, in the original legend folktale. I don't know. But from the perspective of just watching the animated Mulan and then seeing the trailer for this, I was like, first of all, I thought, like, putting another woman in here as some kind of warrior is gonna undercut how awesome Mulan is.
Except that she's literally her foil. So
Except, yeah, it was perfect, and I did love her, and I agree with you that she's fantastic. I love the bird lady.
Her fashion was on point.
Her design, I like her like white face paint. I like her costuming is often like metal feathers.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's the same as Mulan, but jaded because she didn't
Be accepted.
Yeah, she was never accepted, whereas Mulan was. The thing I didn't like about her character is just the inevitable, like, oh yeah, you're gonna kill her, aren't you? There's no happy ending for these characters ever. I would like one movie where they get a happy ending.
It was really frustrating because in the beginning of the movie, when she was talking to, what was it?
Not
something Khan, right?
Oh yeah, his name is Khan because he's not the horse.
He's Bori Khan.
Bori Khan. So she's talking to Bori Khan at the beginning, and she's like, working for him or whatever, but she's obviously very powerful, and she like has him by the neck, and she's like, I could kill you faster than you could blink or something. And I'm like, really? So the way she's gonna die is just like, she's just gonna turn into a bird and take an arrow for Mulan, even though she's literally so powerful, she could have killed Bori Khan. and that
That's
just
what I
felt
wondered.
cheap.
Like, why didn't she just kill him if she could kill him faster than I'm thinking? Why didn't you do that before you shot the arrow?
Right?
Like,
Maybe she wasn't that powerful. Oh, it's always lame when those characters that are usually my favorite just end up dying.
But I will say, I thought I was gonna hate that character and be like just simmering with rage every time she was on screen, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind, I love you, bird
Speaking
lady.
of birds, I feel like the Phoenix is just the visual version of Cinderella's Have Courage and Be Kind.
oh,
Because that bird was on screen way too much.
Yeah, the Phoenix was. I liked the thing with like that was their family's animal that was supposed to be like their guardian.
Make it like
To
like,
rise up.
wait, did I see a phoenix? Was it there?
Oh, that would have been
It's
cool.
all over the screen 8 times. Or
Yeah.
however many was there.
I liked that it kind of moved like a kite.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's seeing a phoenix, but it's really a kite. That'd be cool. No, it's actually a phoenix.
Yep.
Same thing. I like the kite. I like the visual of at the end with the phoenix wings and Mulan.
Ooh,
That
yes.
was cool.
But was it too over the top? Yeah, I wanted the bigger moments to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, going back to like the training montage and top of the mountain, and then nope, there's nothing in my like. I'm not excited about this. Like, it was just the chi helping you up, and
Like, it makes sense from the movie's point of view if she's finally allowing her chi, like, to not be hidden. I get it. Theme there, correct. Does it make me think it's cool? No. I think her being really smart and, like, figuring out this riddle of discipline and strength
yeah.
being, like, this thing.
Oh yeah, when she climbs the pole in the animated one, it's just like
I'm
way more of
also-
a moment.
It's way more of a moment. I'm also always usually way more in favor of movies putting a light on the fact that things that are skillful take time and effort and aren't just
Give me-
strictly talent.
Or chi.
Yeah, like it's not just there and you just like turn it on and off. It's like you actually have to work at some things to be good at them.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the training montage, especially in the animated one, was a lot stronger of a thing because, like, it's a montage. You know that time is passing. You know that they're doing these things over and over, and they're just showing you the highlights reel to the best song in all of Disney.
Yes.
One thing I did really like, kind of vaguely along those lines, from the live-action movie was when the bird lady is like, your chi is poisoned because you're lying to yourself and everyone else. I really liked that Mulan was able to be better at things and fully access and use her chi once she stopped pretending to be something she wasn't. I really, really liked that. And like I said earlier, I think the part where she has that conversation with the bird lady in the like yellow
Sulfur is what I
sulfur
got.
or bubble land. I don't know, not bubbles.
I was a little confused about where they were.
Yeah, I mean, some kind of landscape that exists, but it was strange. But yeah, that part where she's just alone with the bird lady and they're having that conversation and she's like, oh, you know, you'll die pretending you're something you're not, or like, and talked about her chi is poisoned by a lie, and always coming back to like the loyal, brave, and true, and she's not being true to herself. I really liked that, like, she was able to let that go and like fully show who she was, and then she got better at stuff, kind of. Like, she allowed her full self to be...
Reach her full potential.
That's the words. Yep. Although, you can reach your full potential while getting your hair out of your eyes and wearing a helmet.
Why did she take off her armor?
Right? Why did she...
Why did she put her hair down?
Right? It looked cool, but I was just like, this doesn't even look that cool because I know it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, don't take your armor off. You can be a girl and wear armor. Like, are you defeating
Like,
the whole point here, Mulan?
In other forms of media where they take off armor, which is usually almost always done, sometimes it's like explained that like it's hindering them because it's too heavy. We never got that here. She's just taking off armor for no reason and taking out her hair for no reason,
It was
which is
symbolic.
definitely in her face.
Yeah, taking down the hair was the worst thing because
Yeah.
it was just like, I'm a girl, I have long hair, I know how that works, and it does not work.
No. Like, it's very much, this is LA, Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
Decision.
it was very like beach waves.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it definitely didn't.
Like, dready, gross.
Yeah, it
been
didn't.
fighting in a war.
No.
Yeah,
That
which
would have been
like
cool to see.
I think they also just wanted to make it like as much of a difference as like, this is clearly a woman, because before it was just a woman dressed up as a man that you still knew was a woman.
Yeah.
So you have to make her more womanly to be like, look, wow.
Yeah, and also in a live action one, it's very like, I mean, in both, I guess, but especially in live action, it's clearly the same face.
Yeah.
And I get that changing your hair can have a big effect on how you see somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I just think if she just got her hair out of her face, it would have been more practical
I think if she had
for
cut
war.
her hair, it would have made more sense for it to not be in a bun, because I can more imagine doing
Yeah.
active things with shorter hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see, like, after the initial battle, having the hair down, if they wanted that symbolic, I'm a woman, freedom kind of.
Maybe during the course of fighting, it falls down.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would have been
Like, it's not a
good instead of
decision.
her just taking her hair down.
Yeah.
I get,
Like, no, I want to ride with my hair
She's a
blowing
horse
in the
girl.
wind.
Yes, exactly.
again, going back to, like, those, like, higher highs, like, this one, there was no big reveal. Like, she kind of walked through and they were like, huh? But it was like, she had already revealed herself before. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like they were all like, what? Except she was going through that whole battlefield the whole time looking like a girl, so I just don't know. That it was very anticlimactic, like
that's the word.
whereas in
It
the
could've
animated
been-
one, it's like she's injured and then she's in the tent and that's how they find out that she's a woman.
It could have been fun if, like, instead of just immediately seeing her as the boy she'd been pretending to be before, like, they see this woman on the battlefield and they just also think it's a witch. And when she stops fighting, they still call her a witch, and then they realize,
Oh, that would have been
that's our friend. Like, after you stop moving around so much, I like finally take a second to look at you.
Yeah. Have like that Beauty and the Beast moment where you look in her eyes and it is you.
I had a question for you because it kind of kept annoying me throughout. Mulan bouncing in her seat.
I mean, it's not generally good horse riding.
Okay, because she was bouncing a lot, even compared to the men behind her at the end of the movie. Like at the very,
It's incredibly common in unexperienced riders.
on the very beginning, I like saw her bouncing, and I was like, I don't think you're supposed to bounce that much. And then I saw that she was
also
bareback. Yeah,
Mm.
she
I
was
was gonna say,
bareback, and I was
yeah.
like, okay, understandable. But then she was doing the same stupid bouncing moment in the saddle, and I was like, you're supposed to move with the horse, not.
I mean, it's hard. I'm imagining the actor only had a few weeks boot camp in horse riding. You don't get perfect that fast.
Yeah, and she was already like amazing at martial arts. I saw a thing or read a thing where she was like as part of her audition, she did something and she was already like a trained martial artist and
That's
she was
cool.
so cool. I wish great things for her because I think she was really cool. All the martial arts parts of this movie I thought were really cool. I don't know anything about martial arts, but I thought all the stunts and the action, I thought it looked really cool. So that was
going back to horses.
Oh,
let's
sorry.
appreciate
I
the
didn't
trick riding.
know that we were
Oh,
back
that
on
was
Like,
really
yeah,
cool.
the actress who did Mulan, she wasn't like an experienced rider. That's
The
fine.
guy who-
but the trick riding was great.
Yeah, on the arrows and
Where he
the
turns around.
Yeah, like that's quintessential trick riding.
That's
It's
so
good.
cool.
I really like
want to
that.
learn to do that.
Oh yeah, like when I went to go see Cavalia, like they had a whole section of just trick riding.
Did they shoot arrows like that too?
They didn't shoot like they crawl under the horse. They do flips.
Oh my gosh!
Like it's a bunch of crazy stuff. They didn't shoot arrows because I mean it was in a tent. They were gonna like shoot the
no,
audience.
shoot the audience. Shoot an apple off someone's head.
Oh, okay. Anytime they were on a line going up a wall, it kind of took me out of the movie.
Okay, yeah,
But
that's
like
true.
the kung fu, once I was like accepted the kung fu-ness movie of it, I was like, okay, the battles were like the best part of this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed watching cool people doing things that are almost or definitely are inhuman. Like
Yeah.
Them climbing up the walls didn't take me out of it just because I was like, okay, you're gonna be a kung fu movie now, because that's like one of those 80s kung fu things of like just defying gravity and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't super love the going up walls because this was more realistic than the animated one in most other things, and then here they go up a wall.
Yeah, I
But
guess
then again,
for
it's
once-
not because it has a lady that turns into a bird. So
Sometimes when you see something
cool.
unrealistic, you just want the rest of the movie to also be the same level of
right,
unrealistic.
right, yeah. It didn't match the levels as much, but I still thought it looked good, and I agree that the battles, the action was probably the strongest element of the movie.
I think it probably was roughly the same level of unrealistic. She also kicked spears into people's chests.
That's
pretty
true.
dang unrealistic too.
I liked when she did that.
I thought that took me more of the moment than the running up the walls did.
Nope.
Like, okay,
I was like,
sure.
yep, I believe this.
I was like, that's her chi at work.
Yeah.
The trick arrow behind the back, though, my thought was like, this is what I do when I try to look cool at pool.
Oh, that was really ridiculous. Also, I love that Nathan just was so done at that point.
Yeah.
He just flew, threw his arms up.
Mm-hmm. I think we all just kind of were like, at that
Like, of all
moment.
the
For a
slightly
second.
ridiculous things, that one just took you out of the moment a little bit too much.
Yep.
For a second, I was like, logistics of getting...
That's so, wasteful. in
Right?
movement.
Yeah. That was a moment where everyone was just like, okay, sure, you go, boy.
Reality
Can we talk
system.
about Ming-Na Wen's cameo?
Yes, please.
Okay, like that first shot when you just see this gorgeous dress and one walk up. At first I was like, no, they didn't. They didn't put Mulan in a fancy dress, which is not her. And the camera turns and you see it's not Mulan,
It's Ming-Na Wen.
who is the voice of Mulan.
And also every cool person ever in
She's great.
anything. I adore that woman.
I love that she was in this movie.
I loved that. Okay, so the whole movie, like I said, I started really enjoying it about halfway through, but I did not have one moment of pure, unadulterated love and joy in my heart until I saw Ming-Na Wen. And that was a moment at the end where she had a cameo. And that was my biggest joyful moment of the movie. I was so happy. I felt the warmth bubble up in me and I thought, oh, this is what it's like to feel again. Yeah.
I guess one other thing to point out about these two movies is just how, for being more authentic, well, maybe more historically authentic, I feel like the 2021 one maybe is more Western in idea than the original one is.
Ooh, explain.
'Cause, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in the animated one, she wants honor for her family. That's her priority. In the new one, she, in the beginning of the movie, she never says anything about wanting what's good for her family. She mostly seems to want what she wants. She wants to be herself and is kind of suppressed.
A little bit more selfish.
Yeah. It's
Even
not
though
about
it's
what the
selfish
family
has,
wants, it's what she wants, which I think is usually more Western in idea.
I would say, both movies, she wants to protect her father, but then, that kind of, push to join the army, what you were saying is, part of it is, this is her way of doing it, but then the 2020 is just,
So I remember thinking that because in the animated one, she, goes to the matchmaker thing. She tries, she studies, she just because she fails doesn't mean she's not gung-ho to try to succeed.
Yeah.
Whereas in the new one, she is oh crap, I have to go to the matchmaker? Dang it, I don't want to. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really fight against it, though. It's not oh my gosh, how could you? Why are you making me do this? She was just okay.
I see it way more that she was not interested.
Yeah, she seemed more eager to please her family in the animated one. The very first thing you really see of her, she's writing notes. She's doing it her way and she's messing things up, but she is trying so hard to do what is right for her family.
She's trying to succeed, but she's just failing.
Yeah.
Instead of not trying at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea of what makes her super special, she has this really powerful chi. She's a magical girl, whereas in the animated one, she's just a girl trying to please her family, and it's not about well, if you're super special, you can go far.
Yeah.
I liked the message of she's just a normal girl who can do great things because she cares about other people.
I think what you said about the 2021 is the unintended message, because I think the animated one, like you said, it's all about this fairly normal but ingenious girl who learns to do things her own way to be cool. And the new one, the idea that they're trying to put forward, which they mostly do succeed in, is be true to yourself, which is an important lesson. But the second message that you get with that is what you were saying of you're only cool if you're special. Not just anybody can be great.
Yeah. I think they did succeed in the be true to yourself message, but herself was also magical girl. So that kind of undercuts it just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's worth being true to yourself if you have something super exceptional about you.
Yeah.
But I do think, I don't know what I would think of it if I hadn't seen the animated one. Like, I don't think it's a bad movie. And like I said, about halfway through, I started really, like, finding it interesting after she interacts more with the bird lady, and just it kind of takes a slightly different turn. But I don't know.
I think if you're looking for a realistic Mulan movie, there's another one that I watched a couple years ago, and I wish I could remember more of it.
Was it, like, a Chinese movie?
Yeah, it was, like, Chinese movie
Yeah.
about Mulan, and that one was more about a realistic Mulan. Like, there's no love interest, there's no really a happy ending either. But the live action kind of fits in the middle there, and I'm not sure which one I prefer right now. Like, maybe after I digest a little, as far as more realistic Mulan.
Yeah.
I think I might just prefer the non-Disney live action Mulan.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that
not-
too. Someone was saying, like, oh, if you want a realistic, really good version of Mulan that's live action, watch this one from China. I don't know, like, I'd be really interested to see that, because I bet it's really good, especially because it's a Chinese story being told by Chinese filmmakers, so that would be
It's
cool as
2009.
well. What's it called? Is it just
It's
called
it's just
Mulan?
called Mulan.
Okay.
From 2009.
Okay, everybody check that out.
What's your cat score for these movies?
Oh my gosh, I forgot. There's no cats in this movie.
True.
So I guess I have to give it a 0 cat score for both of them.
Yeah.
There's just no
There's
cats
nothing else to
here.
say. There's no cat cruelty. There's no cat love.
There's
Just no cats.
There's just no cats in these movies. I will give the live action one like a 10 on the bird score. That's right, new score, bird score. I loved that she was the falcon.
Yeah, I did like that.
She was like,
That was probably my favorite adaptation choice.
yeah.
From the new movie.
Yes. I like that the end credits did have Christina Aguilera singing Reflection. Anyway, any last thoughts on Mulan? It was a movie.
I'm not gonna watch it again.
I guess we can just go ahead and say, so which one did everyone prefer?
The animated one.
The animated one.
Mulan is still
Obviously.
number 1 for me.
It's not great.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
it's
Sometimes.
nice. Yeah, I liked the cinematography and all the locations that they shot at.
It's very pretty. Like what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like it's more like I want to go to China and view these pretty
Yeah.
landscapes.
All right, with that, do we wrap things up, yeah?
Yeah.
How do we wrap things up? I forget.
I don't know.
That was a movie.
I think you guys just end with whatever your podcast you're doing next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next time is The Lion King.
Yep.
Should you just like say a bunch
The
of different things
Lion
just in case?
King.
Like next time it's Dumbo. Next time.
There's a bunch of movies it could be, I guess. Just start naming movies.
Oh wait, next time's not The Lion King.
What is it?
No.
We just still
Which
Aladdin.
one are you about to? Did you finish?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This is completely out of order.
This is airing out of order. So next is not The Lion King.
So
We're
the next-
lying to you.
Since this is out of order, the next podcast you hear from us should be Beauty and the Beast.
This has been Disney Two Overs. Guest starring me.
Yes, thank Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
for guest starring and have your all your lovely thoughts on
Yeah.
Mulan.
And thank you for inviting me, for letting me join in.
Can the end credits of this podcast please end with 98 Degrees and Stevie Wonder?
True to your heart.
You must be true to your heart.
That's copyright.
Dang!